So this is the Building Trust podcast. It's the foundation of lasting success, elevating life, relationships, and business. So our goal is to bring people to this podcast that showcase that type of trust in their business, life, or relationships. And this is my co-host, Stephanie Fagan.
Hello, everybody. And he didn't introduce himself. This is Ron Blackburn.
Ron Blackburn. Thank you.
And today, okay, I have to read this because it was a little bit long. You have a lot of accolades. We are going to be talking to Mr. Erik Swanson, also known as Mr. Awesome, which I'm excited to hear about where the origins of that came from.
Rock and roll, we could do that.
I love that. He is an award-winning international keynote speaker, national best-selling author in 5 different categories, 5, of success and habits and behavioral coach. He's in great demand. I saw your website, and I also have a question about, you have a program there's like 60 or 80 months worth of habitudes, so I'm very curious to hear more about that, going into a deep dive. Let's see, you're speaking on average more than 1 million people a year, and let's see, I'm gonna...
Oh, it goes on and on. Don't worry
It
about
does!
it. It's all good.
Okay, wait, this is the part I thought was interesting also. You shared stages with some of the most talented and famous speakers of the world, such as Brian Tracy, one of your mentors.
That's right.
NASA's performance coach, Dr. Dennis Wheatley.
Yeah.
From the book and movie The Secret, Bob Proctor, John Canfield, John Assaraf, Million Maker. There's just a very long list. This guy is not just Mr. Awesome, you are awesome, and we're super excited to hear about how trust plays into your profession.
And he actually went bike riding with Ron and Stephanie last weekend.
That's right. You guys are fast bike riders. I'm still trying to catch up to you guys, so I don't know what was going on there. But thanks for bringing me to the show. This is awesome. I'm really excited about being here.
Well, we're excited that we all went up to dinner tonight. We have our live studio audience you guys can't see right now. But
what's up, guys?
Hey.
They're all over the place.
Yeah, but I loved how all of us were coming from that place of trust, so we thought we got to have you on the show.
Thanks,
so I wanted to know how really trust impacts your business, your life, your relationships. How do you use it? How do you know when you're not being trusted? How do you know when not to trust? But anyways, I just love to hear your thoughts behind that.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of questions.
I know.
So,
chronological, alphabetical, whatever you choose.
I trust that I'll do a good job. So, I mean, let's face the obvious. I mean, trust is the basis of everything. It truly is. And I've noticed that in the past where the trust is not there, I've noticed that the success isn't there either. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm talking about like trusting myself or trusting others or others trusting the process, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, have you ever had that experience where you've got a process, you've got a strategy, you've got the system,
you doubt yourself all.
Yeah, or you divert away from it, and then you're like, I should have trusted the strategy or the process in the first place. So yeah, I think trust me it's absolutely critical for every single thing that we do.
I asked you a bunch of questions, but what you're most known for is Habitude Warrior. You want to talk about that real quick? Because we only have like 30 minutes today.
Yeah, absolutely. So Habitude Warrior is,
you're gonna have to stop wiggling.
I just wiggled right into my green iced tea. By the way, this is green iced tea. I don't know if you guys can see that over here.
This is Macallan 12.
Cheers. Are you really doing it? It looks just like my green iced tea. That's hilarious.
So we can cheers.
Cheers, guys. So let's see, Habitude Warrior. I started it years ago. It's all based on habits and attitude. So what we decided to do was really harness our habits and attitude and put it together on a daily basis. You know, and that's what we teach our students. So it's all about like,
our existing habits or new habits that you're creating.
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's taking and dissecting what you actually have within your everyday occurrence, right? So if you have habits that are not serving you or serving the public or serving the future of your success, then you got to take a look at those and actually change those. So, I mean, for me, I've changed a lot of different habits. 3 of them that I always talk about are the fact that I quit 3 things, major things. One thing was alcohol. Second was coffee or caffeine. So I drink, you're already smiling. She's like, well, 1 out of 2 is not bad.
We did meet at a coffee place. So
yeah. And the third thing is negativity. So those are the 3 major things that I got rid of. And people always ask me, they're like, well, why? You know, I mean, obviously alcohol, you know, that's fine, have a glass of wine here and there and so forth. But I decided like early on, I started noticing that people wanted to surround themselves with me, not the alcohol me. Does that make
Right.
sense? So it was just kind of like a different, mindset. So I developed the habit to get rid of that out of my life.
Does the negativity fall into the habit side or the attitude side, or both?
Both, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can definitely make a habit of being negative on a consistent basis.
Well, I was
right?
going to ask you that same
Yeah.
question, because negativity, does that involve all of the guilt, fear, anxiety, like Dr. Joe Dispenza would get into? And so
Yeah, I mean, for me, negativity is just simply saying, look, things are going to be fine. Stop dwelling on things. I've got a saying that I actually wear on a dog tag here that says NDSO, which stands for no drama, serve others. So it's all about no drama, no negativity. Getting it out of your life. Just being, trusting the fact that you are going to vow to yourself and commit to yourself and hold yourself accountable that that's not part of your life anymore. And sure, sometimes it happens. A negative thought comes in and you start
I
doubting
think
yourself.
we get 60, 70,000 negative
thoughts
per day.
thoughts, yeah,
And like
definitely.
80% of them are negative, right? You just have to let them kind of go
Yeah.
down in clouds.
And it takes practice to do that, and it takes practice. What I've learned is time really helps. What I mean by that is just even the small amount of time where, let's say you have a negative thought, and a lot of people dwell on that, and then what we do is we expand that out to people. So what happens? You get on a phone call and you're like, oh, this is what happened. You start complaining to other individuals. Well, time plays a big part. So if you actually take some time, right, and literally say, okay, don't worry about it. It's okay. Just take a little breath. I have what's called the rule of 8, or the power of 8 is what I call it. And the power of 8 is literally taking either 8 seconds, 8 minutes, 80 minutes, maybe it's 8 hours, maybe it's 8 days to get over certain things, and then release it, right? So that's my power of 8. But it's really, it's
Yeah,
making
so
that
shortening that
decision.
refractory period
Yeah.
when you do become
Absolutely.
negative or angry or whatever it might be.
Absolutely.
Right.
And what's interesting, Ron, is when you, let's say, okay, how do I say this? And Brian Tracy used to teach me this years ago. As you know, he was one of my first mentors. When you're concerned about something, let's say some thought comes into your mind and you're like, oh man, how, these people are upset at me for whatever reason. Honestly, that's in your own mind.
Sure. Yeah.
Because guess what? Nobody really cares. Nobody cares. Nobody's sitting there going, oh my gosh, what's that person thinking? No, they don't care. So just release it. Take that 8 seconds or 8 minutes or 80 minutes, some power of 8 for yourself. Maybe it's a different number for you, but that's what really works for me.
Yeah. I think the first thing that comes to my mind is 8 breaths, which
Yeah,
to me, you don't even
exactly.
need that, but just a
Yeah.
single breath in and out, it's like changes your perspective.
Absolutely. It's the breath. We do 4 steps in and 4 steps out. So it's the 8 step
Yeah,
breath.
there you go.
I love that.
I love the
It's really
convergence of the word for Habitude, and I'm curious, other than the elevator pitch of why somebody would sign up for Habitude,
Yeah.
can you tell me about one of your favorite success stories of a client or somebody that took Habitude? What do you hear? What's the feedback that you get?
Oh, wow. We've been doing these Habitude Warrior conferences for years now, and we've gone into like the masterminds now, which is so amazing. And we're hearing, people are coming back going, look, obviously I'm not going to give names, but one of the most, how do I say this? What's the word I want to use? Profound example is somebody literally telling me we saved their lives. We literally
That's
saved their
powerful.
lives.
Wow.
It's the most powerful thing you can ever think of, because they were borderline, almost suicidal. I don't know how you say that. Not almost suicidal. They were suicidal, and they decided not to do it.
What a nice compliment.
It's-
Goodness, not just for success for Habitude, but just, like you said, the attitude and get rid of negativity. That's very strong.
Well, the biggest,
Congratulations. That's
the biggest
and
accolade.
it's not congratulating me. It's congratulating the fact that it's like a community of awesomeness, right? And what I've learned, Stephanie, is a lot of us, we all need each other, right? We really, really need one another, and it's a lot of us we feel alone, and I'm not saying I'm admitted to that, or admitted, yeah, that's the right word. I'm in there as well, right? I need like a dictionary sometimes, but I'm in there sometimes, where sometimes I get these lonely thoughts and so forth, and then I notice that I'm always in a good mood when I'm helping other people. when I'm supporting them.
Always, yeah.
You know, and then they support me in return.
Well, what I love most about you, I got to admit, I've never told you this, but it's like I don't know how you make money because every time I see you, you're doing so many events and they're all for free. You're just constantly giving and giving and giving. I'm like, and you never charge. You're not monetizing these things.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Every time I see you. So.
No, our events aren't free. The Habits Warrior conferences.
All the value you bring just on simple
thanks,
Facebook Live, the bike ride things.
Yeah.
So I
Well, I'm not
just
going to charge you to go for a bike ride with me. Come on, man. Can you imagine?
If you do charge by the mile, because
I should.
Right.
Let's do that.
But it
Notes
feels like you
itself.
constantly want to give, you know. And,
Yeah.
we all make money because we need to make
Brothers.
money. But
Yeah.
you know, the giving part I just love.
Yeah.
I like that you found a way to reach people, because a lot of people have a message, but they don't know how to accurately convey that message where they're reaching their audience. And it sounds like you've broken that barrier and able to reach people. So it's pretty impressive. And I'm sure trust is an underlying factor there.
It's so true. It's following through with how you're reaching people, but then what you're promising them, and then actually following through. And that's critical in trust, you know. And you know, you bring up a good point about reaching people. What I've noticed is a lot of people stay within their own environment. You know, they don't get out. I teach a lot of my students that I teach them take a different route. So go to different places.
Or even when people do get out, when we were on the bike ride, there was 4 people who were all looking at their phones. And you said, hey,
Oh, at the
do you
table
think I
next to
could,
us?
yeah, do you think I could bounce this little, what was it, a little straw paper?
Straw paper,
Yeah.
yeah.
You think I could bounce it and land it on the plate?
Yeah.
And the idea, but your heart was still coming from a place of love that you wanted to
Right.
get them to interact, to go, hey,
Right.
this is real life. Sorry
Right.
about that, John.
Yeah, but it was interesting though, because those 4 people that were not being social with people they knew, which was the table they were at, thinking that you can change their habits just with one motion, and I like that you had so
Sure.
much optimism
Right.
to think
Well,
that you could pull them out.
You're instantly
technique
bringing
and-
a present with that moment, you know.
Yeah, but the technique and the trick is always smile when you're doing it. right?
Absolutely.
Because otherwise people are like, wait, what's going on?
You're either going to do something good or get your
Yeah,
ass kicked. You know,
yeah.
one of the two.
Yeah.
You
It's
might
like
have a smile.
it's like my high five. I'm pretty famous for high fiving a lot of people, you know. And
How can you be famous for high-fiving people? Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, just people know me for doing that.
The
you know?
DMV story, you're going to have to tell that. Probably.
Yeah, the DMV story is
What's
awesome.
the
It's a great
DMV
story.
All right, you want to hear the DMV
Yes, I
story?
do.
All right, so here's the deal. So I went to, so I like to collect cars, and one of my vehicles in Texas, I had to go get the license plate, like the custom plate, okay, because I like custom plates and so forth, you know, just as reminders to be positive, right? And one of the custom plates says, Mr. Awesome. Anyway, okay, so I'm heading into to DMV, so motor vehicles. If you guys don't know, you know, Department of Motor Vehicles, right? Yeah, there you go. And some cities call it different things, or states. So I'm heading in there, and I walk up to the building, and you know, I'm thinking, this is gonna take. I mean, how many of y'all have gone to motor vehicles and spent like less than, you know, it's like a 5-hour
It's not ordinarily
ordeal,
a fun
right?
experience.
Yeah. So I head in there, and I look to my right, and there's nobody there. I'm like, this is awesome. This is perfect. And there's a couple of people at a desk there, and they're pointing this way to the left. So I look to my left, and there's like a line. I swear there was like 75, 80 people in this line. But the thing was, there was a line to get into the other line to get in another line. Okay, it's like really,
Yes.
it's like it was like the Shrek line from the movie. If you've seen that. So here I am. I was like, all right, I'll just sit here and see how this line moves, right? And I'm really bored, so because I'm at the back of the line. So I checked my phone, and my phone doesn't work in the building apparently, because I don't know how they do that. So I'm really bored now. So I had this idea, and the guy in front of me, he's standing in front of me, and I just tapped him on the shoulder, and he looks over and he's like, "What?" And I said, I didn't say anything. I just held up my hand like this. I go, "High five."
Wait, were the eyebrows raised like that?
Yeah. I don't know. Do we have cameras over here too?
We
Yeah.
do, yeah.
There's so many people.
Because when you raise the eyebrows, there's an expectation.
So,
Like an action is waiting to
Where are we
happen.
looking here? So I'm like, high five. so the guy goes like this. He kind of smiles for a second, and he's like, all right. So he high fives me. Oh my God.
Pre-COVID, obviously.
Yeah, this is of course pre-COVID. Yeah. So I was really excited about that, and I was thinking, oh, this is awesome. I'm just kind of smiling, and then I'm bored again. so now I'm having this other idea. I was thinking, wait, what if I can have this continue? So here I am. I'm having another idea. I was like, I tap the guy on the shoulder again. And he's like, what? And I go, high five again, but this time,
Like the game telephone, but with high five.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So he does, you know. So it's like it sounded like, you know, high five here and there and there. It went all the way down, and literally, guys, I saw this high five line cruise down about 70 people or so, and then it was turning the corner, and I could hear it. I couldn't see it anymore, and it was coming back to me.
If you can measure that energy, eventually the energy in the room changed.
And that's the thing is, I wanted to get my high five back,
right?
Because I figured if I started it, why not finish it, right? So here I am, I'm waiting for it, and all of a sudden I feel like a tug on my shirt or my shoulder over here, and so I look to my left, and there's this little tiny woman who have you ever met a woman who looks extremely mean? Like she's gonna I was scared of her, okay? And I'm 6'3", and she's like not even 5 foot, and she's looking up at me like this with crossed arms like this, right? And she's looking at me and she goes, "Was that you who started that high five line?" And the guy next to me is like backing up slowly.
Sure.
Right? He's like,
You're
"Move back." And I said, "Yeah, I guess that's me. Is that okay?" And she looks at me. She goes, "No, this is motor vehicles. It's supposed to be negative," is what she said to me.
Wow.
Can you believe that? I was like, "No way," and I couldn't believe it. And I look at her, "Come on, you're kidding, right?" And she looks to the right and left. Apparently, she was looking for like video cameras or something.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Actually, I am kidding. I wanted a high five as well. I've had a bad day. Can I have one? Do it low so the cameras don't get it."
Awesome.
Isn't that cool? And I was like, "All right." So I gave her a high five, and she goes, "What are you here for?" And I said, "Well, I'm here. I'm an inspirational speaker, and I've got a motivational, license plate plaque, and I'm looking to, I ordered it, and I'm here to pick it up." She goes, "Wait a minute. Are you Mr. Awesome?" That's what she said to me. And I was like,
No,
no. Yeah, she goes, "My
that is
whole
awesome.
staff has been waiting to see who ordered Mr. Awesome."
That is awesome.
So
No
she goes, give me your license, and she got me in and out in like 10 minutes, or
Nice.
less than 10
Well
minutes.
done.
It was awesome, yeah. So
No
look,
question.
it's just building trust, and the thing is, we're talking about building trust. Well, that built some trust, right? It built some trust by saying, "Look, I'm here. I want to high five you. I want to make you smile because I'm here to help." Right? I had no other, reason to make people smile.
But
except wanted to make
I
them
also
smile.
have to think that, what did you say, 75, 80 people?
Yep.
You
In one
probably
line.
took 75, 80 people, slightly changed their
Yeah.
perception of the day.
Right.
Went home, they're a little nicer to their family.
Hopefully.
Everything was
Yeah.
stopped a little short when they're coming up to the next light, and told them to go ahead. That subtle little thing is just huge.
It's got to be kind of a reverse line at that point, because the person in the front is probably thinking, "Please get the high five to me before I have to go in."
Yeah.
Right,
Exactly.
They're looking at
I
it.
want the high five. Don't call my number yet.
It's funny, people ask me if I've done this in different places, and I actually was up in the Bay Area, and I did it at the bottom of Coit Tower, and it went all the way to the top. So that was really cool. It was really fun.
Well, I also enjoy high-fiving, and Stephanie and I do these long walks down around what is it, the Bay area?
Yeah, the Bay.
Yeah.
The Bay in Claremont.
Mission Day.
Mission Bay. So people are, especially the bike riders or the roller skaters, come by, and I
Think
will
you
see
inspired
one.
him.
I like to pick
Oh,
the
yeah?
ones that are the
Are you
most
high-fiving people on the road?
constant.
Yes.
I'm
Really?
like, what about
Oh,
this
man,
guy?
be
I'm gonna get a
careful.
high five. Let me get that.
That's awesome.
And this is post-COVID, and there are people on
Which
rollerblades.
makes it more challenging.
They're like
Yeah.
Bambi on ice, and he's like, "I'm gonna high five them." Like, "Oh my gosh, no, you're gonna knock him over."
You're going to tip them over, exactly.
But it's
But he
fun-
goes for it.
It's almost like that little prosperity kitty in all the
So
Chinese
funny.
food restaurants. It's always like this. I don't even try. I just put my hand
Doesn't
up,
he go like
and
this?
they reach out to hit me. They try.
What's he doing? Like this, right? It's like,
So I'm like, high five kitty. They come by and
kitty.
smack it.
Maybe we should start a high five kitty.
I think it's awesome.
There's probably already a website.
Hashtag.
Never mind. That's a whole nother topic. I'm pretty sure it's not a good time.
It's not gonna work.
That's funny. Quick question: could it be hotter? In
I'm
here?
just
That'd be
gonna say-
awesome. if you could turn
For
it
It's
sound purposes,
October.
you gotta keep the door
It's like
closed.
95 degrees
It's
in here.
awesome.
We have no fans because we're right by the beach and it
Could the
shouldn't be this
audience
hot.
maybe blow this way or something? That'd be awesome. Anything would be great. So building trust. What's it mean to you guys? I want to flip the script here and ask
Wow,
you guys.
that's never happened.
Yeah. So let me start this over. So
It's like the high fives at DMV.
so guys,
Never happened.
my name's Erik Swanson. I'm a 5-time #1 best-selling author. Enough about me. I want to talk to you guys about what does it really take to build trust. Like, are there steps that you guys use?
Well, I wrote the book, Build Trust.
I see that.
There. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I can give you an example. Today I had to turn down a job because I didn't feel comfortable manning it, and that's something that you mentioned earlier, that sometimes you have to build trust by saying no.
Right.
Yes, sounds great, you love to do more work, but sometimes you just have to say, can't cover it, sorry,
Yeah.
can't do it. And you get more respect. They might be disappointed, but you get more respect with that honesty. And I think that being forthcoming and being honest is something that everybody could do more of.
Right.
Yeah, it used to be
Love
back in the department stores of Macy's in New York. If you'd walk in and you want something, they say, no, we don't have that. But Joe's place across the street, they'll get you everything you need.
They actually do
And,
that.
yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
I mean,
great.
well, they used to.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do anymore, but it
Yeah.
used to be that trust.
And now they're out of business.
Amazon doesn't do that.
They don't. They've got everything.
Progressive does though, right?
Right. Give them 15 seconds, and
That's awesome.
they might lower your insurance. So.
That's really, really cool though. I like that.
But for me, building trust, when I wrote the book with Mike Moore, it was all about, we would build custom homes for people. And I mean, that's my job, is to build custom homes. And when you build a custom home for people, it's like a relationship
Right.
for 18 months, 2 years. It's like being married to them. And you had to build that trust with them. And if you weren't willing to walk away, if it went trusting, then it's a lose-lose situation.
Right.
So we started the book with that premise of building trust within the building industry, because the building industry is like, if not the most untrusted, maybe auto mechanics are worse, but it's a pretty untrusted industry. And I think it's untrusted mainly because people don't know. That it's like speaking another language.
Yeah.
But I like to build that trust in the very
It's
first
pretty
meeting.
abstract for people. That's why it's like they don't know what they're getting into. So
Right.
there's a lot of variables that could be, people could go in different directions. So I think that there's no real standard. That's probably why. So you're building the
I
standard.
think it's an
for-
investment of their life, yeah.
Well, you're also building the standard of building trust. I love that.
Right.
The standard of building trust.
But to me, it was all about, which is in the book, all about authenticity and
Yeah.
transparency.
Yeah.
Here's what's going to cost. Here's what my opinion is as an expert. And I always find myself with young couples, and they're so excited to build their first custom home. And it seems like for more often than not, they want to build a 2-story library with that little ladder that slides around so they can look at all the
Okay.
books. And I'm like,
Okay.
great, so you like to read, you have a lot of books. And more often than not, they're like, no, we just thought it was cool. It's like the father-in-law or somebody was a symbol of success, having that library with the thing. I'm like,
Interesting.
well, let's talk about your budget. What do you guys really enjoy? And it usually comes down to, maybe we like to entertain friends in the backyard. Well, let's make a kick-ass backyard. Let's do
Yeah.
the barbecue and everything there. And then we'll see what we have for that. And then you're getting them things that they don't even know they're going to get. So that's the trust on my end. But if I don't feel reciprocated, if it's all about beating you down in price and they don't trust you, then it's not going to be a win-win situation going in.
Right. I agree with that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And
Thanks for
Stephanie,
asking. Nobody's ever asked.
Yeah. Stephanie, what does trust mean to you? I like this question.
I think she answered that prior, but we can go back.
I agree with,
Like pickleball.
with Ron's answer of transparency and just doing what is right, not what is expected or what you think people want to
Right.
hear or what they want. Just do what's right and be accountable. And if you're at fault, admit it.
Yeah.
I really screwed this up and I'm sorry, but let's move forward. I think that's important.
Interesting you bring that up. I think communication is a main part of building trust as well, because I've noticed. I mean, especially through the COVID land that we've dealt with over the last 6 months or so. People had to, I know we did, had to reschedule a lot of things. A lot of events and so forth, and people just want to be heard. Have you ever gone up to like a customer service, experience and all they just want to do is they want to be heard. They
And
want to be
you don't need a lot of
understood.
detail either.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
so much so
Yeah.
that when, I think it was Apple and Dell and all those guys back in the day, they realized that they put a little hourglass up there, letting them know that, hey, we're working on this. Then everyone was like so much more comfortable. You just want to know we're working on it.
You
Yeah.
did bring up a good point though with COVID and not having the events that you are used to. What are you doing now? What is your habitude? What's happening right now? How are you reaching your audience?
We're virtual high-fiving everyone. That's what we're doing.
It's a little quiet, but still.
I like to
Yeah.
call it a digital
It's awesome.
handshake.
A digital handshake, yeah, that's a whole nother website. But anyway, so So what we're doing is it's so funny how beautifully hot you have it in the studio. Like 4 of your people have already passed out in the studio. But anyway,
They can
so
step outside and be
the-
cooler by at
I
least
think-
12
Go
degrees.
outside.
I think the paramedics are coming for one of them. Is that person clear? They're alive now. Okay.
She's good now.
So it's funny how one of them's using my book to fan himself. So you get back to this. So
Is that your book right there?
no, the other one is.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, these are some of mine. So what was I talking about?
I-
Oh yeah, I remember. So what we're doing is this. We've actually, it's so hard. It's not hard to say. It's interesting to say this. We are excelling in such a great way from pivoting on what we did. So yes, we still have live events. Of course, we're just pushing them out to 2021. Yes, people want to be, in live events and out there in the world and so forth. But what we've done is we've pivoted so much, and we actually started something where I'm so excited about. I mean, during a pandemic, we literally started, sustained, and are growing in such a great way a mastermind.
That's awesome.
And I gotta give it up to one of our dear friends, Shannon Parsons.
Wow.
If you guys know Shannon
I
Parsons.
think she's in the audience.
She's somewhere there. There's so many people. She's the passed out girl over there. I tell you what, I had a conversation with this young lady. If you guys don't know her yet, find out who she is. She's amazing. Had a conversation with her, and I literally, how everyone's like, oh, you need to be authentic. Authenticity is really important, right? Everyone knows that, right? Well, here I was, the most authentic I've ever been. I had so many people wanting to sign up for one of our masterminds and this program that we're developing. And I just called her and I said, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. And she goes, why? Just be yourself. What do you mean? I go, I've never done it before. I go, I need you to help me with this. And she's like, done. I'm there for you. And she was such a supporter and literally helped us grow the mastermind. And it was amazing. So now, to answer your question, what we've done is we've pivoted so much where we are still there. Remember, communication's huge.
Yes.
for trust. We are still there in front of our clients on a consistent, basically weekly basis, bi-weekly for our masterminds, and we're constantly growing. We have 3 groups now. We're growing up to 5 groups over the next 2 months, and we're now international, and it's just amazing. So it's adding a whole other communication platform to connect and teach and support and inspire at the same time as growing our regular events in the 2021.
I love how adaptable you've been able to be.
Well,
Great.
I'm telling you, thank you. It's really, being authentic with yourself and saying, okay, I know what I don't know. Let's get the people who really know how to do it. And just like what you're talking about, and that's really building trust with yourself and trusting the fact that, okay, if they believe in me, for example, with Shannon I was mentioning and a couple other people, John Kovach is one of my team leads. He's amazing. If these 2 individuals believe in me, then I must be doing something right. So I need to trust myself. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And let them be experts of what they do,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can shine in what I do.
I'm such a
Make sense?
big fan of masterminds.
Yeah.
And as Shannon knows, I'm one of
Me too now. I love them.
I'm one of the founding members
Amazing.
of the Mastermind Association, which is pretty
That's
darn
right.
amazing.
Cheers.
And we just had it was a real mastermind, I guess. And we had one just a month ago, and Dave Corbin showed up and some other people. And just from me sitting in the hot seat twice, my entire 2020 has changed from a few hours in a mastermind thing. I was telling Stephanie about it. I said, I'm going to go there, I don't know what to expect. And I'm going, okay, boom, it's just.
Cheers. Do that again. Do that to yours. Let's all do
It
that.
sounds like
We're
a
all
bomb.
doing it?
There, just cheers to everyone.
How are we doing on time, Johnny?
We've got only about 5 minutes left.
All right, well, I only have 4 more questions for them, so.
We're going to get you to a cooler space. So
Oh,
you
that's
can-
cool.
I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
So I'm always about wanting to know the guy off stage.
Yeah.
Not the Erik on stage, who I know.
Sure.
But what's cool is you're the Erik on stage is when we bike riding, it's the same guy. So
Yeah.
it's not usually the case, but
Yeah.
I remember it was maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, you announced on one of your shows, you said, I think I'm ready for a girlfriend now. I just wondered, I was like, oh.
Yeah, well, that's the only reason why I'm here. Stephanie, so, are you guys?
Yeah,
together?
It's still,
Do you have any twins then?
Only 4 of
Just
them.
kidding. It's funny that you say that. So for some reason, I was ready for a relationship. I guess I don't know why I'm laughing at that. And I posted it. I said, yeah, I think I'm ready for a girlfriend
I thought
relationship.
that was awesome.
How does that go whenever you
I'll tell you
throw
what.
that out there into the universe
I
like that?
had a good. Usually we get 300, 400, 500 views on my posts. I got like 900 views. I got 19 resumes. It's weird.
Resumes?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like they're just like.
So are you gonna have a dating game?
I have
also
I have a website. It's an
We should have a
application
dating
for to date. We should the awesome dating game.
So
I
did
would-
you actually go out with any of the applicants?
I refuse to answer under the grounds that may intimidate me.
It could just be yes or no. I'm not gonna ask anymore. Are you still single? Let's start
So
there.
building trust, you're supposed to say no. No, I'm not doing
Well done. If our audience is curious, are you still single?
Well, that's the same question. You asked us.
I like that
I'm
you
gonna say
rephrased
it's a
it.
no.
All right, the answer is yes. Sure.
Still single.
And even
You know
though
that
he's
the one out of 19 is at least going, God, I thought we had something there. What happened?
Yeah. Sorry, I'll see you at home later.
he's talking to his dog, who
You
plays
guys-
football. Apparently, that video was. Pretty
Oh my
cute.
God, my dogs love football. They
So
absolutely
cute.
love it.
You inspired me. I got my dog a little football.
Did you?
It's one.
Okay.
Yeah, I did, and
That's
I put.
awesome.
It's one that puts treats. They put treats
Is
in
this
it.
the dog you painted pink?
No, it's
That's
the
the
cat
cat.
that's pink. The cat is pink.
Tell the
dog
story
is
about the
pink.
dog and the scrimmage line and the throwing it and the touchdown. I mean, we saw
So-
the video, but
Yeah, so I mean, I just train my dogs because I love them so much. Their names are Samuel and Jackson.
are you training him or are you
Samuel
teaching him
Jackson.
habits?
Yeah, both. I mean, honestly, it really is. They know how to I hit snooze alarm. They know what snooze alarm is now. Like seriously, like they like snooze. I teach them 5 minutes, which is really 35 minutes in dog years. So it's awesome. It's awesome. But they're really good at football. Put it that way.
Awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well,
I think we're about-
You've been awesome.
Yeah, you've been awesome.
Hey, I got a gift for all your audience members if they want.
Oh, great.
So
What do you got?
Is that cool?
Sure.
I get- So I've
We have
got.
2
Oh
million-
yeah, they
we
got a
have
date
2
with
million
me.
listeners.
Football with the dogs.
2 million. Wow, I don't know if I can give that many out. So some of my books, I have 5 or 6 books that I've written, and if they want all the ebook versions, all they have to do is go to awesomemastermind.com.
Perfect.
And there's a place they can put it
Very
in,
cool.
and they get all the ebooks.
I love the flip book, which I guess you can't see
Thanks.
that
Yeah.
online because you can't flip like that. But I
Oh,
love
it's
it.
so funny.
great concept.
She's talking about my flip book where I have in my time management book. So part of it reads, one way that reads to-do list. Right? So there's about 15 chapters of what to do when you're growing your business and so forth in time management. But would you agree that you have to have a not to do list as well?
Absolutely.
So if you flip it upside down, you read the other way, and it's a not to
But
do
it's also
list.
color coordinated.
Yeah.
The go green and
Exactly.
the red for don't do this.
Very
Yeah, it's a
I like
great
that.
concept. Yeah.
You should see the ebook version because you're like, what? Anyway.
So they should get that one
Upside
then,
down.
is what you're saying.
They should get all 6.
Yeah.
It's my gift to them.
Right. Well, thank you for coming out.
My pleasure, man. Great seeing you guys.
You are
Thank
Mr.
very much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.